Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Cyber Angel, and this is going to be a different kind of iRant. Okay, um, here's what's going on. Over the past year, Nintendo has, let's just say that they just have bugged me with a lot of what they've done over the year. They took down Yuzu and Ryujinx, and I swear, if it turns out that those things are not one of those two is used in the Switch 2 for backwards compatibility with Switch 1, I won't be surprised. They also went after a bunch of ROM hosting websites and took those down too. Uh, they have they went after uh, YouTube channels that hosted their music and also just websites that hosted their sheet music, and then eventually sold it back to us using Nintendo Music, which is less than what we were getting before and much more gated. Kind of like what the Nintendo Switch Online Virtual Console is. So there's that. But the other thing that they've done, but the other thing that they did was they launched a lawsuit against Pocket Pair, the creators of Palworld. Now, now, this wouldn't have been a big deal, but it's not a copyright lawsuit where Pocket Pair used assets from something from Nintendo or one of its second party companies like Pokemon. It's not a trademark lawsuit where give me a minute, where there's like brand confusion between the two. No, this was a patent lawsuit. This was a patent lawsuit. And when you stop and actually look at the patent itself, the violated patent was something that they had filed an amendment for and then went after Pocket Pair. And they didn't. And the funny thing is, they didn't do anything towards Pocket Pair until the game got popular, until it was like 3 million. Now, me knowing Nintendo once again, I wouldn't doubt if some of the elements that are more prevalent in Pal World, Pocket Pair's game, are going to be present in Pokemon Legends ZA, but that's speculation on my part. But when you look at the facts, Nintendo has not exactly been the best this year. I mean, they have made great games. They will always make great games. But when it comes to treating their community, they just suck. Let's not forget that they were the ones who had the YouTube content creator program. The one where you had to pretty much let Nintendo curate your videos, and then you got a portion of them, and then you shared like some of the revenue on top of already revenue sharing that you already had to do. They quietly discontinued that and did not give any kind of public apology or anything. But that's neither here nor there. Something that I've been doing as a protest to all of this has been going to every single one of Nintendo of America's YouTube videos that they put, new YouTube videos that they post. That's advertising a Nintendo product or advertising something on Nintendo Online Virtual Console, downvoting it and leaving the comment, "Drop the Palworld lawsuit." Now, I will admit this actually amounts to absolutely nothing because one, the lawsuit's happening in Japan. Two, the people who run the YouTube channel are probably far and away from the people who are actually, involved with the lawsuit itself. And three, I'm just one voice in a sea of a million. Now, I know there are some people who have noticed, but those people are more mad at Palworld simply because they use a type A, type B gender type and then consider it woke. And also, they consider Nintendo to be, untouchable and just heavenly. When the truth is, No, they were the people who sued Galoob because they didn't like what Galoob was doing with their stuff, and they also the ones that also sued, and I think won against Tenjin. I think it was. I could be wrong on that one. I could be wrong, but yeah, their history with throwing out their lawyers has just been horrible, really, really horrible this year. I mean, 2024 has been horrible in general, especially here in America. Especially if you know what's coming next year, in like, from the date this video was made, in about a month. But focusing on the thing right now, yeah, that's... Cause here's my opinion. Nintendo should drop the lawsuit for one reason and one reason only, just to show some level of humility towards the community. But they don't do that. Pretty much their relationship goes of honestly, the way I put it is that when it comes to their games, play it loud, but they get to set the volume. And I, for one, have had a huge problem with that for a while, and just this year has pushed it over the edge. However, trying to do all of that, trying to do the downvote and, just tell them to drop the Palworld Lawsuit in every single one of their videos is just... My time is already real limited as it is, especially right now with the holidays coming up. I mean, at the time of recording, Christmas is in a week. Less than a week, actually. So, yeah, there's some things I gotta drop. So, instead, I'm gonna make sure I put the hashtag for Nintendo on this video once I post it. But I am also going to pretty much unsubscribe from Nintendo of America's channels. I mean, the only thing I like about Nintendo right now is Luigi time, and that's because of recent events involving CEOs. But, once again, neither here nor there. If you want the TLDR, here it is. Nintendo's been pretty crappy and has always been crappy with their lawyers. In 2024, they were really, really bad about it. They went after Palworld for no good reason, if you actually... Oh, crap. I forgot to talk about why this lawsuit is bad. Okay. Let me explain why the... Hi, Matea. That's my cat back there. Right there. There you go. There's my pumpkin butt. Sorry. Thumbs up for Kitty. Anyway... Here's why the patent lawsuit against Pocket Pair and the game Palworld is a bad thing. For one, this was this was an amendment to one of their pre-existing the patent that they are that's bad. The patent that they are allegedly infringing upon was one that was amended from the original patent. And while the original patent still stands, the fact that this amendment was added to it kind of, especially after the release of Palworld, makes it a little bit more scrupulous. And two, the other reason is it's bullying. In a sense, it's bullying. Nintendo sees that Palworld is popular, sees that it's competing with Nintendo's Pokemon property, and Nintendo wants to do what Nintendo does by shutting it down and being the only option in town. They want to compete by giving you a better product. They want to compete by being the only option. And you just can't do that anymore. And also, the other reason I'm against it is that if Nintendo succeeds, if they settle outside of court, the message will be clear that if Nintendo even thinks you're encroaching in on their territory, they will they will send their lawyers to beat you down with their home run bats, like the mafia, or as they call them in Japan, the Yakuza. But number two, if Nintendo wins in court, then this sets a very, very dangerous precedent in a lot of things. There's a reason why there's fair use copyright laws, and one of those reasons that you might not know about it, or you might have heard about it back when Wizards of the Coast had tried to launch the Open Gaming License 2.0. But there's a reason why you cannot copyright gameplay mechanics, and that's what these patents are over. Gameplay mechanics. But there's a reason why you cannot copyright gameplay mechanics, and that is quote, it stifles creativity. So pretty much you can have the same gameplay mechanics as long as you have like different names from them. Pressing A to, if you can have A, you can press A to make you try this again. You could press A, you cannot have your game be like press A to make Mario jump, but you can have press A to make Maria jump. This is why Gianna Sisters got away with it. They were pretty much a Mario clone, but because the gameplay mechanic, because the characters were different, but the gameplay mechanics were the same, they got away with it because of those laws, and that there's a reason for that. I mean, hell, if we didn't have those copyright laws, games like Yahtzee would pretty much say, no, you can't use any game with dice in it. Games like poker would cause games like Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! To cease to exist without having to pay a nice pretty penny for it. And that's not even getting into what goes on outside of the video gaming sphere, outside of the gaming sphere, out doing other things. So yeah, Nintendo doing this patent lawsuit thing is bad. That's why I've been doing what I was doing. But they need to cut that out. They need to drop the lawsuit because, like I said, them winning in any way pretty much says that they will bully you out of if they think you're going to encroach on their territory, they're going to bully you out of existence. And it also sets the dangerous precedent that the patent that you can circumvent the copyright protection, the fair use copyright protection that I just described, by using patent lawsuits. You can gatekeep what games people can make because of the patents. That does not sound like a good future to me. Then again, if that happens, well, it's probably going to be Luigi time. Again. I'm Cyber Angel. This has been an iRant. Nintendo, drop the Palworld lawsuit.